I rise to continue taking note of responses of questions given to Minister Watt. As somebody who's been involved in the agricultural industry all of my life and receive hundreds of representations from farmers and graziers across this country every week since the introduction or the discovery of foot and mouth in barley, I share the industry's concern about the politicisation of this discussion. I called early for greater steps to be taken in the response, not because I was interested in a political outcome, but because I was urged by industry, by farmers, by graziers to provide a sense of urgency to both the department and the government. They were incredibly distressed about the impending risk to their herd, to their farmers and graziers' mental health, to the impact on consumers of the cost of food. But anyway, we all know what the impact of both foot and mouth and lumpy skin disease would be on arriving in this country. We don't need to continue that discussion because it is too horrific to think about. When foot and mouth arrived in the UK in 2001, it spread the length of that country after contaminated meat came in on an airline food tray that was fed to pigs. It travelled the length of the country within days. It was into Ireland and then spread with the export of Vila animals to France and to Netherlands. And this all happened within such a short time frame that the contamination and quarantine zones resulted in the destruction of 6 million head of sheep and cattle. The impact on those farmers, those butchers, those transport truck drivers, consumers, still lives with them, in them today, in a desperation. So the response that the opposition has had has not been, as has been suggested, a political one, but a sheer desperation of ensuring that the government is making a proportionate response to the risk. A proportionate response. And that is our job. Our job is to ensure that we represent our industries and that the response is suitable. And I have to tell you that we are now week 4. Week 4 since the introduction of foot and mouth, or the discovery of foot and mouth in barley. It is a completely different country because, unlike other countries that you travel to, there is a lot more pigs, which are a super conductor of foot and mouth disease. It grows quickly and spreads easily amongst that herd. It is also 25% of the people, the 143,000 Australians who travelled to Bali last month, 25% stay in a private residence, where the ladies who might be cooking for that family or that house return from caring for their sick animals at 6 o'clock in the morning and cook a meal for the Australian family before they get on a plane back to this country at, say, 8 o'clock in the morning. So the risk profile is very different, and that is why the previous government, like this government, was watching the risks as identified by the department. But we are now in a different situation. So I acknowledge the measures that have been introduced by this government, but I do have to once again point out that they have been too slow. The foot mats that are in place are citric acid. Normally, contact with citric acid to kill foot and mouth disease or a virus like that would be 30 minutes. We're asking people to walk across it, hopefully shake the dirt from their shoes and kill the virus as it falls on the mat. It doesn't address the entirety of their shoe. It doesn't address the other footwear and clothes that they have in their suitcase. We've also been asking that all food that comes into the country be dumped in big food tubs the way you do going into the Northern Territory or New Zealand, because that is a proportionate response to the risk to this nation. And we're also flagging that the response and the money being spent, the $14 million, the vaccines into Indonesia, into Papua New Guinea, into Bali, is not enough. It is not fast enough. It is not proportionate, and that is the job we will continue to carry out.